magnetic toroidal field. There is no South Pole. Your compass objectively, empirically, and scientifically concludes that the Earth is a level plane with a fixed center source. Your compass, when you flip a switch for a current, your compass points to the current. It doesn't have to be a bar magnet. Claiming that it's a bar magnet is a false equivalency logical fallacy. Circling a compass with a fixed needle compass proves nothing. We have a natural lodestone, a compass functioning properly, because east and west are semicircles and circles. That's why your compass pivots. It is objective. The red half is objective. Your heading, your direction, your bezel, it does not matter. The red half is the same for everyone, no matter what you do with your compass. When there's a fixed source in the center, your compass functions properly. Your compass will function properly with a fixed source in the center. If you add this static, all right, this is our South Pole. Let's have a constant South Pole now. Look, it's not working. It's not working because we have two fields acting on it at the same time. Get rid of our South Pole that doesn't exist and has no evidence. Weird. Now our compass functions properly. Let's add the constant force of a South Pole that doesn't exist. Compass does not work. Take away the South Pole that doesn't exist. Compass works fine. Add the South Pole. Compass doesn't work. Take the South Pole away. Compass works fine. Like fucking, how it's not that hard. A compass is a single pole, horizontal plane instrument for measuring semicircles and circles. It is the latitude on your map, okay? It doesn't work when two polarity are acting on it at the same time. The needle is static, okay? Look, I'm going 5 or 6 inches here. Both polarity acting on my needle at the same time. With your heading is subjective to only you. The compass is a constant force. It's constantly pulling the needle to the center, the source in the center. You see how much pivot is here when there is one field, one polarity, because that's how a compass functions. You going south doesn't change the fact that your compass needle, red half, is constantly being pulled to the source magnet, okay? That's why it doesn't work when there are two fields, because it's a single field instrument, a single pole instrument. It doesn't work. You don't use the white part of your fucking compass. This is the indicator, very clearly identified as the indication. It's an analog instrument. It is the instrument that we use to determine latitude, okay? Left and right is east and west, like a clock, okay? So what you're doing is trying to claim that a compass works with both pole acting on it at the same time. It does not. You know why it does not? Because a bar magnet is not what we live in. We live in a toroidal field, first of all. Second of all, look, there is nothing in the middle. They zap this at both ends. Electric dipole moment. Opposing orientational polarization. There is nothing in the middle. It's not magnetic in the middle. Only the ends. A compass does not work with two opposing polarity field acting on it simultaneously. There are 0 instruments for cartography that account for anything that has to do with the globe. There are 0 objective measures, 0 analog instruments to measure the globe with upside down curved water.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 970 for the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar, known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo.
The reason why people don't want to accept the biblical cosmology is because what you're really doing is you're saying they've taught me wrong all these years.
Yeah.
You know? And so if that's true, so what else are they lying about? And I think that we've come to the place where you have to, like, it is scary. And I think, like you were saying, like, that you got all sick when you found out, like, the Earth was flat. Like, I will say that during my research on a number of topics, I laugh and then I start to get sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Like, it's very often that happens, and eventually I say I gotta do something else. But I think that, like, I understand, like, the people who go down these rabbit holes that we do and they don't believe the Bible. That is very scary because you know about all the evil and you don't even believe in the good. You're not tethered to anything. But I think for us, it's like, it's still scary to believe that everyone's always been lying to us. Like, and I really, like, I can't trust any of the books. I can't trust any of the people. I can't trust any of this stuff. And it's like, I think there's obviously people who want to still have a lifeline that they can see, because you really have to walk by faith. If you believe that everything else is a lie, you really have to believe God is true and every man is a liar. And
Stanley Kubrick, Walt Disney, and Warner von Braun did not invent a fake moon landing. If they did, I mean, where's the footage? Where's the proof?
I think it means that the job of landing something on the moon where there's no atmosphere and using a rocket to slow it up and having the equipment still work is a very difficult job.
We've been brought in here by Stanley Kubrick to more or less ensure the scientific integrity of the film, to make sure that it's very, very close in reality, but still we want to make certain that it has a base of reality.
Before the end of the 60s, we will see a man to the moon, an American. And we're very proud that our country continues to produce these young men who go so far and carry with them so much.
To put people on the moon and with enough fuel to enable them to return safely home to Earth requires still a larger and more powerful rocket, however.
It's going to take some time, and I think we have to recognize it. They secured these large boosters, which have led to their being first in Sputnik and led to their first putting their man in space. We are, I hope, going to be able to carry out our efforts with due regard to the problem of the life of the man involved this year. But we are behind.
However, let us imagine for a moment that the many problems have been solved. We are ready to begin our first voyage to the moon.
It is quite possible that an aggressor nation that dominates space will then dominate the world.
We're in the final assembly building of the LEM. Stanley Kubrick and I have set ourselves several objectives. We hope to convey to the public the wonder and beauty and promise of the new age of exploration which is opening up before the human race.
Well, here we are on the LEM ship, and one can almost imagine we're on our way to the moon, or we've arrived at the moon.
Can you believe it? Can you realize that you and I, that all of us, have actually begun the exploration of another world?
We have taken the first historic step into our solar system.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We, the crew of Apollo 11, are privileged to represent the United States in our first attempt to take man to another heavenly body.
Man walks on the moon! Man walks on the moon! The first man from Earth walked on the surface of the moon this morning, and the suspense here in London is unbelievable.
Apollo 11, Houston. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming. I'm going to step off the lamp now. Neil and Buzz, the President of the United States is in his office now and would like to say a few words to you. Over. That would be an honor. Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made in the whole history of man. All the people on this earth are truly one. One in their pride in what you have done. And one in our prayers that you will return safely to earth.
Do you want to know why the North Sea was just trending? Because the word of the real North Sea, the most treacherous waters, is getting out. And they needed something else to come up in the search when people started looking into this. The North Pole has a portal and the Black Rock. Let's get Black Rock trending and the Rubes Negra trending. And F the system. They cannot hide it. Do you know what this place is? It's located in the center of the North Pole. And it's the center of the Earth's magnetic field, known as the tallest field. That black thing in the center of the world, it's the tallest mountain on Earth, far more taller than Mount Everest. It's the Rubes Negra, or the Black Rock, also known as Mount Zion. Some people also called it Mount Siam. You wouldn't find this massive mountain in existence in mainstream science and media because it's deliberately concealed, because if the world knew that there's such a huge mountain in the center of the Earth, it would change the course of history. This includes the true nature of our world will be rewritten. And that will undo the globe-shaped Earth theory and the entire timeline of the Earth from the beginning, and they don't want that. Look how the wind stream passes through that mountain. It blocks the wind stream because of its height and size. The Rubes Negra, or the Black Rock, described by Makata as 33 French miles long, or roughly 40 miles in diameter. It is purportedly explained why all compasses point to this location. The biggest shareholder of all the major companies in the world is BlackRock. It's named after this mountain.
I used to have heliocentric syndrome. I used to think that the sun was 93 million miles away, and the surface was 10,000 degrees, which was only 6 times hotter than a normal campfire, and 800 degrees cooler than the core of the Earth. I used to believe the Earth had a molten magnetic core, even though magnets lose their magnetic properties permanently when they're heated up past 80 degrees Celsius. I used to think like a Earth baby, right round, 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 until I found there was no proof of such a thing. Let's make a scale model of this. Let's take a bunch of magnets, melt them together, throw a wet paper sack on it, see what happens to this, and then test this for magnetism. This is truly only the beginning of the contradictions that you'll find surrounding the heliocentric model and this spinning, wobbling space ball that's supposedly going up in the millions of miles per hour through the cosmos. I suggest you be observant, start to understand and see the contradictions, find a community, and start asking the right questions. You'll find the truth soon enough.